All right, welcome back to hELOS and Homies. I'm here with a very prestigious guest, Paul Fleming. So we're running a bit behind time. This won't be our usual hour and a half. We were meant to start at 7:30. It's currently 9:20 at night. We've been having a bit of a yarn about everything.
We spent half the bloody thing having a yarn off camera,
Yeah.
off screen, and that. So hopefully, listen, we haven't used up all the good stuff.
We haven't used up all the yarn. For those watching, I am currently 0-0 in boxing, but the man next to me is actually 28-0 with one draw. Is it 28?
Yes.
Yeah, with a 62% knockout rate.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Good
done my
when you say
research.
the percentages.
Yeah.
Did you do it on the calculator, or did it already
Nah,
say that?
I went deep in it was like on the third page of Safari, they gave you like in-depth stats on you.
Ooh, I have to check that out. I
Yeah.
haven't checked it
I
out.
can't remember what the page was called.
60%? That's all right. That's better than half. 60% of the time is better than half the time.
And yeah, so Paul Fleming, where'd you grow up? And who is Paul Fleming?
So who is Paul Fleming? Well, I am an Aboriginal man, proud Aboriginal man, amongst other nationalities, but I really identify with being Indigenous because we're on this land and I grew up here, so I identify with being Indigenous more than anything, so that's a big part of who I am. I'm a father, a proud father, and a fighter, boxer, so that's probably three of my biggest identities of who I am that make up me. And I'm a far north Queenslander. Grew up near Cairns in a little town called Tully. Highest rainfall in Australia, recorded rainfall. Got the big golden gumboot. But it's kind of like shit green colour. It's not gold. It's not gold. Like when they said golden gumboot when I was a kid, I'm like, that bitch better be sparkling and shit. But nah, they did it like poo greeny colour. But still, it's my hometown. I was just up there recently.
What country is that?
I forgot it off the top of my head. I actually was just up there the other day, and there's a few all around there, but I forgot off the top of my head. Forgive me. But so I'm born and bred up there, lived there my whole life, moved away from there when I was 16 years old for boxing. Yeah,
which is what, 18 years ago?
Yeah, what? So 2006.
4.
No, it was after 2004. So what's that? 2006. How many years ago is that then?
16 years.
16 years ago. So I was about 16 when I moved away. Yeah. And moved to the sunny coast and tried out for the Commonwealth Games there. Missed out on the Commonwealth Games when I was a young 18-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old. Then I waited around for the Olympics, and then I ended up making the 2008 Olympics for Australia.
Yeah, I've got that written down.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, it was interesting. Was interesting.
That in China?
Yeah.
Yeah, how was that?
I would have rather gone to London. London would have been a bit more fun. China was a bit hard. Like, everything was real difficult. People aren't real inviting in that. And
James Magnuson was on a podcast and said the same thing.
Yeah, they're not like... It's just very hard. It's like... You know when you go to another country and they semi-understand what you're saying and you can kind of hand gesture your way out of it, like, like they just got no idea. Like you can hand gesture all you want and it's like you're clicking your tongue. They got no idea.
Funny you say that. When I was in Europe, every country I went to, sweet. They spoke, well, of course in Europe, a lot of the countries speak English naturally, just tourism so rampant. You go to Paris in France, as soon as they hear English, they fucking don't want to bar with you.
Oh, really?
They are some of the rudest fucking people.
Yeah, right.
Even I even tried to learn like basic French to just try and communicate as to like, where's this, where's that, where do I go to, just basic stuff. Like, hello, thank you, excuse me. Fucking nah, they knew straight away. He's either English, Australian, American. Fuck, don't talk to him.
I go the opposite way a bit when I go overseas. I've never said g'day in my life. Until I went overseas. And it's like when you go over, you're like, how's it going? Like, g'day. Like, oh, too right. Uru. What's it like? I've never said fucking uru in my life, but I went overseas and I was like, uru, Bob Shani, like all this stuff. Like, but yeah, I go the other way. I invest in it.
So 2008, you go to the Olympics. Now, just fighting wise, well, I did not do my research on that. Mm-hmm. How did you come out of that? So
I lost the eventual, so it's a knockout comp, so as soon as you lose, you're out. And I lost to the eventual silver medalist, so I lost to the number 2 guy. You know who Lomachenko is?
Yeah.
Lomachenko won the gold medal in my division. I was fighting off to fight Lomachenko.
Fuck.
So the dude that I lost to, close fight, 3 points, lost to Lomachenko in the final.
What was the fight in the final like? Lomachenko dominated or not?
Lomachenko smoked him, stopped him.
Yeah.
But the guy, completely different styles.
What nation was?
France.
French.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
French. Yeah, no.
Small
And
world.
he was rude. Nah,
Yeah.
I didn't get much talking to him. But you know the weirdest thing is, like, I fought at the Olympics and shit, and I don't remember any of it. And that's like a lot of my fights. Like, it's almost like I go into like a little...
Yeah.
And I have snapshots of sections, and when I watch it back, I'm like, oh, yeah, I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't remember any of my Olympic fight.
Yeah, wow.
0.
Crazy.
I got
Do you reckon-
punched hard, but too.
Yeah.
That's maybe part of it. Like,
Do you reckon you have some, like, that's from concussions maybe or something like that?
no, I think it's not at all.
Or just too many events after?
I think it's just where I go. I just go into this like place. I
Yeah.
just go into this place, and I don't really remember the fights.
Yeah.
And even the fights where I don't get hit. So I know it's not about getting hit. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fights that I don't get hit, I don't even remember it. They're like, oh, do you see that? And I watch it back. I'm like, oh shit, I did that.
Yeah,
That looks
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, that looked all right on camera. He goes all right, that fella. So yeah.
And then, so you're a WBA, WBC, IBF, and IBO champion.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd that feel becoming a champion for the first time, I should ask?
So I'd won titles before. So I'd had a WBO title about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I had a WBC title, another one a few years ago. And then I kind of had a break from boxing, and since I've come back, my last fight I won 5 titles, or four, and then I defended
Against
one.
England.
Against Jackson, England.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fight.
Now, my question is, right, so 4 belts at the moment, is it?
Yeah.
4 belts.
5.
5.
WBO. I got 2 WBCs, IBF, IBO, and WBO.
Yeah, yeah.
WBA.
Yeah, so you got 2 under 1, so you got 4 separate, one double up.
Yeah.
So the question I've always thought and asked and talked to, I'm not a boxer. I've told you, you can most probably tell. But I was going to ask, do you think there's too many different belts in boxing?
Yes.
Because I think the way I see it is, to sell boxing, which has been a topic of debate since the rugby league guys started fighting, is it's too hard of a consumer package when there's too many belts with too many different people, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just in my opinion. I'm not a professional at all. I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. So it'd be good to ask you what you think of that.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think there is. I think it's a multifaceted thing, why, like, how to build it and this and that.
Yeah.
I think there's too much emphasis on the undefeated thing and the O and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that kind of come in with the Mayweather sort of
Yeah.
era. And then ever since then, everyone's tried to protect the O. And as well, like, it's not just the fighters, and it's not just that. It's because the people they're so easy to jump off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can go from... That's why I love the UFC, right?
Yeah.
So people underestimate the brand that the UFC is. So once you're signed to the UFC, you're signed to
You're on.
Bill.
Yeah.
There's guys that'll never be world champions that are going to make lucrative careers
Yeah.
just because they're associated with the brand.
Yeah.
Boxing doesn't have that.
Yeah.
You're your own brand, and you can still be the best fighter in the world
Yeah.
and still never get nowhere.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the team. Like, look at all the guys that have become world champion recently.
Yeah.
They've all got mad teams. They've all had like Horn had a mad team.
Yeah.
Cambosis has a great team. The Zoos have a great team.
Yeah.
Mundine had a great strong team behind him. Denny Green had a strong. The Maloney boys have a great strong team behind him. So all these guys, especially out of this country, you have to have that strong team behind you to get you to that championship. But back to the belts, there are too many belts.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been a problem for a while, and it's how do you fix it? I don't know. But the UFC seem to got it. But the UFC have got it right in a way. But then you can. Dana's the sole power play.
And the brothers, is it? Yeah.
They've got it. There's no board.
Yeah.
There's no one coming in to
Yeah.
kind of govern them.
Yeah.
There's the ratings in the UFC are basically jokish.
Yeah.
Like there's no really.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ratings mean nothing.
Yeah.
When Conor can be like lose his last how many ever fights.
Yeah.
And then come back and get a title. But I'm a Conor fan. I want to see him fight. Like I want to see him back because I love it. But if we're talking about championships and all that, and rankings, if they're working properly, the UFC's rankings are poo poo. They don't make sense. And so you get the good and the bad. You get the good and the bad.
Yeah, UFC, and this is so similar to rugby league and rugby union. Boxing was seen as like a gentleman's sport. Obviously, it's about fighting, but it was seen as like a gentleman's era of fighting, and same with rugby union. UFC and rugby league come along, and they let rugby league don't do it as well, but they play into the characters of the people that are fighting. I think that's UFC's biggest pull. Yeah, he's like Adesanya has his own brand. Yeah, you go look at NRL right now. The Penrith Panthers, like you and I would both know from where we're from, Panthers have their own personal brands popping off. Whereas with boxing, like who did Kambosos fight over in America to bring it back?
Teofimo
Lopez. Like I looked into him, and there's fuck all brand behind him, despite being one of the best fighters in the world. Yeah, and it's just something like
such a big pool in America, but such a big pool. But I reckon within his community, he'd be a star. He's massive in his community, and I think
I think it's him and Canelo for the Mexican community.
Yeah, like in their communities, they're big. Canelo's massive everywhere. He's massive everywhere, but I think them stars like that, like you were saying, they're in their communities. They're massive. Like in the Indigenous community in Australia, like you'd be hard pressed to find a 20-something-year-old bloke, 20-something to 50-something-year-old bloke that wouldn't know who I was. Yeah. In the Indigenous community. Yeah. You'd struggle to find a Indigenous NRL player that wouldn't know who I was. Yeah. Like so.
I saw on your Instagram who was following you. It's awesome.
Yeah, a few of them follow me, but I'm not a name dropper, so I don't like. But I chat with a few of them, man. They're good mates and that. So, but. Like I chat with Ty when he's in town. Like we catch up all the time. He comes to Jab Out. We catch up there. I caught up with him after my last fight. We got a lot of love. I got a lot of love for Ty. I love what he's doing, man. Yeah. And Tice too. Tice, shout out to Tice and Pedro. He's a good mate as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm moving in. Like this podcast, whole thing's moving into the 2-7 project. One of his new ventures.
Yeah, right.
That's near actually where you live.
There you go.
I'll tell you where it is after, but you'd be surprised how close it is. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Man, so that's awesome.
Next time I have you on, you just can walk there.
Dude, I'm a local. Then we might have to do a weekly check-in with me and like make our own little thing. Yeah, talk about what's going on in politics. We can get into politics. Let's get into politics. Change some stuff.
Nah. And then like with boxing, I saw recently your last fight was Jackson England fight.
Yep.
Now, a lot of people in the comments, I scrolled social media, went into search bars on Facebook, typed in your fight, went into YouTube. A lot of people in the comments reckon that was the best Australian fight this year so far. Yeah. That was a bit of a fucking war, to say the least. Like, that was, mate, I was watching it. I was sitting there, I was like, I'm fucking interviewing this bloke. Yeah. When knowing you now for about an hour, nothing what I would have expected in the ring.
Yeah, different dude, eh?
Yeah,
that's what I said. I switch to a different dude when I go out there, and I'm not a violent person. Like I have it in me. Like in situations, like if it comes to my family, if anyone come between my family, then it's game over. Like that's like in situations, I have to be. But fundamentally, like everyday life, I'm like a family man. Like I'm just like I love a yarn. I'm like I'm always over at the park, and I'm always yarning to like mothers because I've always got my kids. And I'm always there, like giving the missus a rest. We got six kids. I'm always taking the little ones away, giving her a sleep in or a rest or something. Or walk over and get her some lunch and bring it back over to her. But always over there chatting to the mums and the grandmas and like, how's the dog doing after the operation? Yeah, looking good. Look at her, come here.
And the Jackson England fight. So that was a war. How was that being in there?
I didn't realize how good it was until after.
Yeah.
I knew it was a good fight. And I didn't really realize the significance of it until after the fight when I jumped on the ropes and I looked out to the crowd and everyone was standing up. And then everyone was carrying on about it. And then when I watched it back, I don't watch many of my fights, but when I watched it back, I was like, oh yeah, that was mad. That was
How come
good.
you don't
So many good.
How come you don't watch many of your fights?
I don't watch any. You know what? All my podcasts, I've done a few of them. You know, I never watch one of my podcasts back. I probably won't watch this one. I don't like
fine.
I don't like not the fact that I don't like you or like this podcast. It's great, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I watch it as a real in the moment. I'm spontaneous in that, but when I'm watching it, I watch and overanalyze what I'm saying, and then I'm like, oh, that was gay. I shouldn't have said that. Oh, that was
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was crap.
Yeah. My best mate Ned, he's on here quite often. Yeah. He watched me with my first big guest was John Bernard, the comedian. He watched that and the first one, and he's never watched any he's in. Yeah, right. He's only watched 2. Yeah. He won't sit there and watch himself. I think it's the same thing with yourself.
Yeah, no, I just I don't like watching my fights, but I watch them sometimes and that. I like a highlight better.
Yeah,
I like getting them highlights done and that. I like watching a highlight instead of the whole fight. But I'm not into it. So.
Yeah, and then
but that fight was good. I watched it back and I was like, oh yeah, I've watched it back a couple. I watched it back a couple of times and I'm like, oh yeah, it was special. It was special.
Would you say that's your best, not your best performance, but the best fight you've been in?
That's definitely the most exciting fight.
The
most crowd pleasing. Listen, for my wife and my kids, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
My wife hated it. My wife hated watching it. I got a cut in it, and my last couple of fights now, I've got a couple of cuts. So, that's your wife never wants to see you with a big cut, blood pissing out everywhere. So, and she doesn't want to. She's like, I don't want to see you get hit like that.
Yeah.
Prior to my last couple of fights, I've been known as I'm a boxer, like a boxing mover, elusive kind of not a come forward fighter, quick, skillful. My last 2 fights have been absolute wars. Last fight, so I think it's showed a lot of people something different. They expect you to come out and box and be pretty and be elusive and move, and then I've come out and my punch output's been crazy. I threw my last fight. I threw 680 punches in 10 rounds.
That's fucking crazy.
That's a lot.
How long were the rounds?
3 minutes.
So 680 punches in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
What's 68 divided by? That's 20 punches per minute.
Yeah.
That's a that maths could be wrong, but I'm alright at maths on the spot. That's a fucking crazy output. Can you do the maths, Jamie?
Do the maths, Jamie. Pull that up, Jamie. And I think, just off the top of my head, I think, so my fight before that, I fought Tyson Lantry.
Yeah.
And I fought on the Tim Zoo card in Newcastle. Yeah. And I think within 7 rounds, I threw 100 punches around.
Yeah.
In that fight. I think I threw 700 punches at the start of the 7th round. I was throwing 100 punches.
What's your deadliest punch, you reckon?
My deadliest?
Like uppercut, jab, what do it... Or get into the technicalities.
I like my left hook. Left-handed.
Yeah.
So I'm a southpaw. Only 10% of the population is left-handed. 10%.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've got 8 of us in our family, and all of them so far. So the last hope I've got is my 4-month-old baby. If she's not left-handed, then I'm the only one out of 8 of us.
Yeah, wow. Crazy.
But I've said to him the first one, if my daughter is left-handed, she don't even get to choose. She's just in the gym.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to have so many grandkids, because I have 6 kids, I'm like, the first left-handed kid.
His favourite?
It's a fighter.
I
don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're blind. They're going to be a fighter. Blind grand kid. I don't want to wish that. Don't put that negative energy out there. But I'm just saying, whatever they don't get a choice. I don't care what they got bung leg. They're still going to be a fighter.
Yeah, that's like with soccer, football. Kids with left foot are way likelier to progress through the ranks. because it's just different. Everyone's right-footed.
Different.
Yeah, you'd know. Like, everyone's right-footed. It's just...
Yeah, right.
But if you're both-footed, then you're sweet. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm right-footed, but I learned to kick with my left in AFL.
Yeah.
But I can't kick with the outside of my left in both football and AFL.
Yeah,
I just can't teach myself to do it.
I'm left-handed, but because boxing, you use your opposite hand more, I've become really real mobile with my right hand.
Yeah.
Like, I still can't write the fine motor movements.
Yeah.
Like fine motor skill.
Yeah.
Still crap, but my big motor movements with my right hand are so much better now from just being this young boxing with my right hand and that. So
yeah, wow.
I usually I don't even when I get in situations, I'm all I'll just automatically put my certain situations. I'm just automatically in
Yeah.
just it just automatically this. Yeah.
What's your favorite knockout been?
I fought a guy.
You'd have 50. You'd have 15 knockouts.
I think 15 knockouts or 16, something like that. 15 or 16. So I knocked out this guy from where was he from? African country. He flew over here and I knocked him out in the 4th round or something. It's on YouTube. You can see it in that. Yeah. And I hit him, and he was asleep in the air. Like, it was like and they fall like that. And when
lights are straight out. Yeah.
When he hit the ground, he kind of woke himself up, but he was out of it. But he went like a slow-mo knockout. It was like, and I just watched Timber. Yeah. It's like a highlight reel knockout. If that knockout was on Fox or it was on just a normal show at just a local show and that. But if that knockout was on Fox Sports
or KO now,
Fox Sports or whatever it was, man, it'd be contention for knockout of the year. It was off its head. Unfortunately, hopefully I get the fight of the year with Jackson England. Yeah. Hopefully you still got that. There's not many fights left in the year, so we'll see.
We're in November almost.
See. I think October 25th. The other fight that I think that was up there was a real good fight was the Jai Apataya world title fight. His performance, so I think his performance was that standout performance. That's a standout performance of the year. But for me and Jackson England, for the fight, competitive, I think me and Jackson England put on a real, one of the best.
Just quickly, back to your Olympics. Jai Apataya is one of them, isn't he, that followed after?
He went to 2012. So the guy I beat to make the Olympics in 2008 went with Jai in 2012.
So 2008, we have Paul Fleming from Australia.
Yeah.
Then in 2012, we have Jai Apataya.
Yeah.
2016, who's there? Because 2020 was Harry Garside.
2016.
That's a pretty elite caliber, yourself, Jai Apataya, and Harry Garside.
Harry Garside. I've moved around with Harry Garside. I've done some rounds with him.
Yeah.
Freakish. He's real good, man.
Yeah.
Real good. And you know what's even
He's fucking cool, man.
So you know what? I say this, and everyone asks me about Harry because everyone asks. Harry's a pretty hot topic right now, and they know there's pictures of me with Harry online and that. And listen, I'm a boy's boy, right? Yeah. I come from the country. I'm a real boy's boy, and is that my type of vibe? No, it's not. Yeah. But is he a top bloke? Hey, bloody oath, he's a top bloke. I started talking to him over at the Olympics when he was over there, and I was the first Indigenous artist to design the Indigenous uniform for the Olympic teams. Yeah, so I designed a shirt for the Summer Olympics. Yep. If you go look up the Aussie skateboarder won the gold medal. Yeah. And he's hot.
Is that the youngin? Was he young at the time?
The skateboarder?
No, I think that was the girl, wasn't it?
No, the girl. The Aussie one? The Aussie guy that won the skateboard, he won the gold medal? Yeah. He wore my shirt when he won the gold medal.
Wow.
So if you go look up the thing, he wore my shirt. So, and at the Winter Olympics, they got heaps more things. But anyway, heaps more things were made for the Winter Olympics, but I only got a shirt for the Summer Olympics. But I got the village. They did put up some of my art at the village, and that was all incorporated. So I was real fortunate, real lucky. But I contacted them, and I knew Sky. I've known Sky Nicholson. Yeah, I've known Sky Nicholson since she was about 10 years old. Wow, a little girl. I used to go to their gym and spa when I was 17 years old, and Sky used to come up and give me a go, hey.
Yeah.
She's left-handed too, just like her brother who passed away. Like her brother, her older brother, rest in peace. He was a very talented. I think he's one of the first or one of the only Australian amateur boxers to be ranked number 1 in the world.
Wow.
Jamie Nicholson, and he turned pro, and he was going to be. He had big raps on him, and then he passed away. Him and the little brother, I think, passed away in a car accident before he'd even got to reach his thing. So Sky was left-handed. I was left-handed. Her brother who passed away, Jamie, was left-handed. So we'd always be like, and then all of a sudden she was fighting, and so I've always been in contact, like, hey, Sky, like, good on you, sort of thing. And Alex Winwood was over there, and he's an Indigenous boy. So I was like, listen, if you just get the chance, if you just could get a photo, and man, without hesitation, they got a photo, tagged us. Yeah. I mean, like, all the whole kit and caboodle, like, took their time, and he was one of the guys that really took his time and, like, wrote me a big message, and and ever since then, and he come out and sparred, and then I met him when he come out and sparred and moved around, and he was even a bigger legend then. So I'm like, never judge a book. Ain't it the thing, like. And that's the beauty of boxing in sort of like workplaces and that. Sometimes they bring you into contact with people that you may have never looked at, may have never wanted to, would have thought your wildest dreams. And then you meet this person, and it kind of breaks the barrier, and you turn out like, Harry's a legend. Like and he's doing something cool, man. I like what he's doing. It's different. It's different to what I do, but it's cool.
Changing a boxing narrative.
It's cool. It's cool, man. And you know what? The same thing as I think, like, when it comes to me, like, there may be a young Indigenous boy out there that may be struggling, have problems at home, and, may not have the best support thing, may be struggling at school, may not feel like he belongs, but there may be something out there for you. You just got to find that thing. And if they see my story, like, he didn't do well at school, couldn't read, struggled, kicked out all the time, ADHD, real struggling, but he found boxing. That gives a kid, another Indigenous kid or another kid, that sort of something to look up to. And that may be Harry. There may be a kid that may be feeling different. May not feeling like he belongs. And here's a guy, young guy, handsome, top of the world, and not scared to,
do ballet classes.
Or push the narrative, change the narrative. You know what I mean? So
that's the shit. I wrote down his name somewhere, and I've just found it. You just mentioned young Aboriginal Indigenous boxers who may look up to you. Yeah. Now, the first to do it as an Indigenous boxer goes by the name of Lionel Rose. Am I correct?
Yeah, he was the our first world champ ever.
And he was around in Sugar Robinson's time, maybe?
No.
Or earlier?
Maybe.
He was early, because every photo of him
Dave
black
Sands
and white.
was. You know Dave Sands?
It came up, but I didn't research him.
So Dave Sands was actually one of the number 1 contenders for Sugar Ray Robinson's title, and he died in a car accident. And he's like, he died before he got his chance. And he was in a car chopping wood, I think, with his brothers, and the car rolled. 8 of them in the car. They all jumped out, and he was the only one that passed away. Dave Sands. Yeah. Fuck. And up at Newcastle there, I went to the museum where they had his thing before I fought Lantry and that. So, but so beautiful. Did you know a little bit of information too? It was the first and only. It was the first sport that we were ever able to compete in. Boxing
For Indigenous people.
Indigenous people were able to compete in. It was boxing, the first sport.
Yeah, he I can't remember what I read about him, but he had like massive. He went to one country for a fight.
He fought Fighting Harada.
And he came home to one of the best receptions people have ever seen.
Yeah. And he went over there, fought Fighting Harada, who's a legend from Japan. And he's won, I think, Johnny Femishon fought him too, another Aussie legend. I think Johnny Femishon just passed away too. Like, rest in peace, Johnny. But yeah, they both fought Fighting Harada. Fighting Harada over there is like a
big thing. Yeah,
like
big
like
thing.
Fennec is to us. A big boxing legend, and come back, and there was like 50,000 people in Melbourne.
Crazy.
You know, he also had a number 1 country hit.
Who? Lionel Rose.
Yes.
Wow. What's it called?
I can't remember, but I found that out recently. He had a number 1 country.
We'll bump that after.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find that.
100%.
Yeah, right. That's I've been listening to a bit of country lately. I don't know why.
I've been pumping country.
Yeah, you fuck with it?
I think it's TikTok.
Yeah.
I think it's TikTok.
You know, there is that Something in the Orange song. That got a lot of people.
Nah, do you know what one got me? That
What?
I'm carrying your love with me. I love that song. I pump that with my girl, my daughter. I got to I'm carrying it. I dance around the house with her all the time. Have you heard the remixes? Have you Neon Moon? Have you seen the Neon Moon remix?
I don't fuck with all that.
Oh, brother, the
good?
Neon Moon remix.
What, like EDM or something?
With the Neon Moon.
Oh.
It's a mashup. Dude.
Yeah.
Have you Achy Breaky Heart remix? Have you heard that?
Nah.
Oh, dude, I'm going to change your life. I'm going to put them on after just so you can listen. You'll be like, damn. Yeah, it's like country's got the shit. This country's got the beats.
I listen to a guy called Tyler Childs. He has Cole. That's like one of my favorite ever songs.
Yeah, right.
He's a gun. He has White Brick House, maybe?
There's a music that I didn't know that was country. That's country that I listen to.
What is it?
Is Eagles country?
I'm not.
Some of their songs could
I'm
have
not
to be
versed
country.
on country, but I'd say they'd come pretty close.
I don't know. I listen.
What do you listen to?
Everything, like
but
everything.
You get in the this is a good way to describe it. You get in the car, you're having a great day. What's your first song? First type of music?
It varies.
Yeah.
But at the minute, I'm pumping heaps of American rap stuff.
Yeah, who you like?
I'm listening to. I knew you were gonna. You know what? I knew you were gonna ask me this to put me on the spot, and I knew I was gonna forget. I listened to a little bit of YMC Millie. We were talking about that and all that sort of stuff. 21 Savage, all them.
21 Savage, one of the greatest to do it, man. His album with Drake comes out this week.
Who sings Role Models?
J. Cole.
Yeah. Listen to heaps of J. Cole and that.
J. Cole's one of the goats.
Yeah, I love but I grew up on like Tupac.
Yeah.
Bone Thugs. I grew up on Bone Thugs, Tupac, Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Oh man, Wu-Tang Clan was my shit. I used to bump that when I was a kid heaps, but Mum and Dad were like Fleetwood Mac, Billy Joel, like Creedence Clearwater.
Fleetwood Mac can get it. Still gets a go.
Dude.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac. Do you see that guy that went viral?
Yeah.
Dogface?
Dogface.
I follow him, man. Dude, like, you know how many times I watch things like that go viral?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've done hundreds of them things.
Yeah. Just
because I'm like spontaneous, like ADHD, crazy. I've done hundreds of them things, but when I try it, I'm like, I'm going to do something and I just pull up blanks. Like I can't, when it comes to doing something, I can't do it.
Wow.
But when I'm just being an idiot, it just being flows. An idiot just comes out. It's natural to me.
Yeah.
I'm just naturally an idiot. But yeah, like them.
Makes two of us.
Oh, man, I'm the fool. I was a class clown. Were you a class clown?
Nah, but when I'm with my mates. You gave
it a crack.
Yeah, in a sense. Like, my mate would walk around and do like a siren around the school, just going, woo, woo. And I'd like walk with him, like just fucking around, knocking on teachers' doors, saying hi to. I don't know. It's not like a class clown, but I was never adverse to a bit of stupidity. We used to have a big group at school. And the thing about our group was there was a few in there that had really high ATARs coming for them. So they wouldn't crack down too hard on us.
Yeah,
one of the kids actually ended up getting a 99 plus ATAR, which is like extremely intelligent.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I don't know what that means, but
like
ATAR, I know.
An average
ATAR is like average. My wife... We have something different in Queensland. It's not called an ATAR in Queensland.
It goes different to states because it goes to the governing body.
But I was never like a school
I'd say an average is between 55 to 70. So if you'd have put 99 in there, it's crazy.
What's 100?
No, I don't think it's a thing.
Oh, so 99 is like basically 100.
Well, yeah, essentially like 99.95 or whatever. And
question, I'm going to say this. Was he Asian?
No.
And I can say that because I'm Asian. That's not racist because I'm Asian as shit. I'm Asian as shit. Like, I'm so Asian. Like, I got to pull up my DNA ancestry now. I can say that. But were they like, Asians are so smart, man.
Our school was in the Blue Mountains, so we weren't the most ethnically diverse school. But his parents were extremely intelligent. I won't say their occupations because obviously he's not here. But they were extremely intelligent individuals. Obviously, he was too.
Yeah.
And on the last day of school, St. Columbus is on a fucking huge piece of land.
Yeah.
Like massive. It is massive. They own acres
Up at the Blue Mountains.
Yeah, in Springwood.
Blue Mountains is nice.
Yeah.
I was up at Katoomba High.
country.
I was up at Katoomba High doing a mural up there. I did a big mural up there, yeah.
Yeah, Katoomba's a beautiful place. Interesting people in their day.
Yeah.
If you walk around, yeah. Katoomba's, how do you put it? If you're from the mountains, it's all right. But if you were to walk there at night and you're not from the mountains, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Really?
Yeah. You'd enjoy it, I reckon, having a yarn with some of them.
Oh, dude. I love characters.
Yeah, that's what it is. I love it for that.
Dude.
Yeah.
I got this picture of me in my head, what I'm going to be like when I'm like 60, 70 years old. With like
just yarning.
With like a hat with like so many pins on it.
Oh, Boonie.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Some sort of something. I'm going to have shitloads of pins on my hat. Yeah. I'm going to have a walking stick probably. But not because I need it, just for the fact, like, and it's going to jingle or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just picture just being that old dude that's like, oh, yeah, he used to be a fighter back in the day. Like, all right, see you, champ. And like, just come up and say something random and just go, I'll see you next time, champ. And just walk off.
Can you imagine yourself in the corner of boxing gyms when you're like 70, just yelling at people, telling them what to do?
Dude, that's a bit like... That's I can't wait till that stage when I'll be that old dude at the boxing gym.
Yeah.
I almost am that old
bit
dude.
Bit of a Rocky scene.
Yeah. I can't, like, I've got 4 boys.
Yeah.
So, and they love rugby league, like massive rugby league fans.
Western Sydney boys, yeah.
I mean, like, they were young boys growing up watching the Penrith Panthers
dominate
in their heyday when they were killing guys. I wasn't even like, so I was into footy when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I kind of got away from it. And
you a Cows fan back in the day?
I was a Cows fan. Now, we're going the Finns, brother. We're going the Finns.
Oh, you're going Finns?
I'm going Finns, bro.
Was that closer to where you grew up?
No. Townsville is, because closer to Cairns and that.
Yeah.
But Sunny Coast is where I spent my like late teens, and that's right down the road. And my Aboriginal tribal lands are from there, so I'm Waka Waka from Cherbourg, which is like right, like northwest, and Yuggera from Brisbane City, which is down the road, and then my other one's from far north Queensland, one Jamargin up near Cairns. So, but 2 of my Aboriginal tribes are right there.
Yeah,
my wife was raised there. We're looking to move back there one day up to Queensland. And the Finns, I think, and I look good in green, red, and white, red, and gold.
Cream.
Is it cream?
This
cream. I look good in them colours.
Yeah. Did you see the jersey butt?
It's got a V on it. No.
Oh yeah, they had like a Dragons type of jersey, but they went with red and cream because of the Dragons red and white, and the cream is not a hit.
The cream's not good.
I'll show you the kits after. We'll get your opinion, but. I think they've missed on that. Would you agree? Yeah,
the cream's not good.
I think they've missed a huge opportunity to go and kill that jersey, and they've fucked it royally.
Okay, so what colours should have they gone with? They didn't want to go. So the Dolphins are obviously red and white, so they can't go red and white because of St. George.
Yeah, red, white, and black.
Red is what?
I reckon put a tinge of black in.
Put a black. What? Isn't that the old Bears colour? Burley Bears?
Yeah. North Sydney. But I think...
North Sydney, sorry?
Black is the... You'd know from like making shirts, like the complements. So like maybe on the collar or across the shoulder. Not make it a dominant colour, but make it separate from St. George. And make the away kit something fucking outrageous. Like a light blue because you are the Dolphins.
What colours don't we have in the NRL?
Oh, we're basically covered because it's like Storm and Canberra colour, like covered purple, green, or that Manly covered deep purple. It's all fuckery.
We don't have a aqua.
Cronulla, a close.
They're like a sky blue.
Yeah.
I'm talking like this kind of greeny.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's what I'm saying for the away kit. Do that for the away. I wouldn't say change the home. Yeah. Redcliffe, if you're fucking listening, get onto it, man. Get us in the jersey designs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm yet to do an Indigenous round jersey, and I'm an Aboriginal artist.
How do you feel watching the Indigenous versus Māori?
I love it.
I
love it.
My fucking hair stand up on the back of my neck.
It's other than state of origin, for me, it goes state of origin.
I think everyone, yeah.
State of origin number 1.
Yeah.
And then Indigenous round number 2. And then the finals is always good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
state of origin's the best. So when I was a kid, that's all I wanted to do.
It's
When I was a kid,
every single person
when
in
I
the
was
state
a
stands
kid in
up.
Queensland, surrounded by banana farms and cane fields,
Yeah.
in my undies in the lightning storms, I just sit out there. Wait. I love it. I love it. You know, when I was little, before, I used to love the haka. So the haka, I love it. Like
What?
when I was little, before I knew that I had my own dances, because
Yeah.
I never grew up really cultural and stuff.
Embracing it, yeah.
I grew up later on. I really got into it. Like
Yeah.
I always grew up knowing I was Indigenous, knowing I was Aboriginal, knowing Mum was Aboriginal, but
Yeah.
and grew up like predominantly like this Indigenous people up
Yeah.
in Cairns area, like, everywhere. So I grew up Indigenous my whole life, but never really got into it until I got a little bit older. Until I had kids, and then I got into it more because they wanted to know more, and they were.
Yeah.
You know, going to school and the NAIDOC weeks and all these things, and I wanted to know more as well. And
Yeah.
then that really got me into it. And yeah, I love the culture. I love this real sense of
It's a
belonging.
beautiful culture.
Man, it is oldest culture on the planet. First people to bake bread. You know where the first recorded people to bake bread?
Yeah.
Huh?
Damper?
Yeah.
Is that the name for it in Indigenous terms?
There's so
Or
the
would it
indigenous
change from tribe to
indigenous
tribe?
language has like 700 dialects.
Yeah.
Maybe I think.
Yeah.
Don't we need a Jamie?
Yeah.
We need a Jamie.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
hold me to anything that I'm saying. I
Yeah.
could be wrong. I talk a lot.
No, I have
But
heard that,
you know,
yeah.
there's so many dialects. So the names, there's different names for it, and that was hard too. Like in New Zealand, there's different dialects, but they speak one kind
Yeah.
of dialect. One in our culture, there's no one dialect.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you superimpose Australia over Europe, it covers like 20 countries.
Yeah. Shit ton.
Like Australia.
Take
and the
Russia out of
indigenous-
Europe, it's tiny. Yeah.
Australia and Aboriginal cultures are so diverse.
Yeah.
Like down Tasmania, we've got some Aboriginal people. There's photos of Aboriginal people that grew up in the Central Desert that was 6'9".
Yeah.
Like, and they had long, kind of dreaded hair.
Yeah.
There's recorded of pygmy Aboriginal people, real short Aboriginal people that lived up in the wet tropics.
Yeah.
Up in far north Queensland. So there's all different. We look different. We had different customs, different traditions,
Yeah.
different diets, different everything, different gods.
Yeah.
It's so diverse, you know.
Yeah.
And so to blanket Indigenous people, like Aboriginal people, into one thing, you just look at how many different nations.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's interesting, man. It's interesting.
Where I'm from, I'm not Indigenous, but the Darug and Gundungurra tribe are one of the biggest tribes there was.
Yeah,
They
right.
covered like Hawkesbury past Katoomba.
Wiradjuri is one of the biggest ones
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Wiradjuri, yeah.
Wiradjuri is Sydney.
Wiradjuri is out Dubbo
No, yeah. I'm trying
and
to
out
think of
towards
Sydney's.
Bathurst, but it runs down into heads down to down towards Albury Wodonga and that.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It goes down to Albury
Oh,
Wodonga
fuck.
and it goes all the way out to Kempsey, not Kempsey, all the way out to Dubbo, Brewarrina,
Yeah.
all the way Bathurst. Like
Yeah.
it's massive. It's
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah,
Wiradjuri.
wow.
So I danced with some of the Wiradjuri guys.
Yeah.
So that's they were the first people I danced with. Joe Williams, you know Joe Williams?
Yeah, I've heard of the
Joe
name.
Williams used to play NRL,
Yeah.
played for Rabbitohs
Yeah, yeah.
and that. He's like a real close brother of mine, like one
How
of
good.
my kind of senior
Yeah.
guy within my culture that I kind of look up to and
Yeah.
chat with and
Yeah.
checks in on me all the time.
Yeah.
He's always checking in on
Yeah.
me. So yeah, he was one of the ones that got me into it. So I danced with the Wiradjuri boys and that. So.
I think the war cry is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
What about my walkouts? You like the walkouts?
I love your walkouts.
Walkouts pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, but I thought the war cry at the Indigenous Māori game,
Oh man.
that gave me fuck. I was in the Lapo, if you know,
Oh,
you
man.
know what the Lapo is, surely.
No.
The pub at the Lapson Hill up in
Oh,
the
yeah,
mountains.
yeah,
Big
yeah.
pub.
Yeah.
I was at the Lapo, and my friend John and I were there, and we were going, "This is fucking like." We were speechless, but at the same time when we spoke, we're like, "This is fucking amazing."
You were
complete
speechless,
awe.
but all you could say was, "That's just fucking."
Yeah.
No, like, it's all like, you know what? It's so awesome to kind of get like that that sort of reception from that sort of reception, sort of respect from it. You do it. We do it for our culture, our people, ourselves, and it's a real personal moment for a lot of us. You know what I mean? And to see everyone love it and enjoy it and be so moved by it, especially, and even when I've done my ones, my walkouts and that, and the amount of people that message me about it, and it's awesome that they think that you could have somewhat of an effect on someone. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think it's amazing. The other thing about Indigenous culture, so I'm half Italian.
My wife's Italian.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's born in her dad was born in Ravenna. I think it's up near Sicily. Ravenna, up the top. Yeah,
up
born
top, northern.
Yeah.
So she got light skin with dark hair features. Is that where northerner?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm predominantly like the southern genetic came through, but so
I like your food, by the way. Who doesn't?
My nonna was the best.
Oh
fucking
man,
cook,
who
man.
doesn't have like nonna and nunno? And
it's beautiful. You know them.
Yeah, for sure. That's all my. We got pop in my family is pop, and but mum, my missus, she's nunna.
Yeah.
So she's like, I can't wait until I'm older in the game. Yeah. And I'm pop. I'm all poppy. So
I was going to say something I've noticed from people that I've hung around and become friends with that are of an Indigenous background and heritage is the respect for elders is something that I find within my Italian heritage as well. Yeah. It's something that is just unbelievably it's such a beautiful thing, but I don't find it in every culture and heritage, but it's something I've found both one of the only similarities between Italians and the Indigenous, and it's just you before mentioning that just made me think of in Italy it's very much like nonno and nonno say they're patriarch if they're the eldest, whoever's the eldest and functioning I should say is the patriarch of the family, and you they're for advice, or they're there for to guide you, and listening to that it makes
the same. I like the togetherness, and I like the comfortability. This is what I like about that is the comfortability. I love being comfortable just to walk into someone. When you had them mates that were just comfortable enough where you just walk into the home and give their mum a cuddle. Yeah. You're like, hey mum.
Shout out John.
Yeah. You had them friends.
Yeah.
And you had a few of your friends, and then you go, and then their mum would give you shit, and their dad would kick your ass. And what are you pricks doing in it? I love that. Yeah. And I think that's what we don't have a lot now. Yeah. Is that sort of everyone's sort of to themselves, and I miss that sort of stuff. That's how I grew up. Everyone was around. My dad treated all the other boys better than he treated me. I always got the shittest burger, the leftover things.
Yeah,
Everyone always got the biggest but that was always the way you always treat your guests, and they're always and once you're friends for life. Their family is I try and run my house like that. The kids from around the thing, open up the door, come in. Anything you want. All right. Everyone's always over our house, and it's there. I say come over here because you can't break anything. It's all kid proof, and having 6 kids in the house.
Yeah. My mum and dad's wasn't the way they showed that type of love wasn't actually and he'll vouch for it. He's one of them. Wasn't actually through hosting people, but dad coached all of my teams. Yeah. And mum would help with the sports as well. Yeah. And so a lot of the boys, when they'll call me. So one of my mates, Jamil, went to the army. Yeah. After 3 months, I reckon, when he first got back in contact, or 2 months after the first training module. And he calls me, talks to me for 2 minutes. Here's my dad in the background. He goes, put me on to Dario straight away because dad coached him. And it's just the same thing, eh?
But that, I talk about this a lot of the time, is it's meeting. Sometimes you meet these people within your lives, and they're not necessarily your mum or dad. Just these people that come into your lives that are a big part. And your dad was probably a big part of them for them kids, because a lot of the kids on your team may not have had that support at home, and your dad could have been that strong male role model figure to them that they felt comfortable with.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of them come from single parent homes.
Yeah.
No dad at home.
Yeah.
Your dad was probably the only responsible, well kept together male in some of these guys' families.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's another thing. But yeah, it's awesome, man. It's awesome to have that and have them people in your life. I've had a few of them. They've said a few of them that really stand out in my life. You know.
Funny you say that.
Hopefully, I can be that for some kids too. You know, that's what I hope to be. You know, just
likewise.
Just be that person like that you can come to chat with, and that's, you know, that has your back, but it'll still kick your ass if let you know when you've done wrong. You know, let you know when you need ass kicking, but also there for you. You know?
Yeah, funny you say that. My dad had a team called the Longest Yard. Yeah, he had 3 court cases he went to for 3 separate boys in his AFL team.
There you go.
Yeah. Funny you say that. It's fun. Shout out Daria.
It's shout out to all the men out there that are putting in the extra yards. That's you know, that's extra.
Yeah.
You don't sign up for that.
Nah.
You know, that's not in the sign on thing as a coach, but you know, you take on that role sometimes. Sometimes you're not just a coach for boxing.
Yeah.
You're not just coach for footy.
Life coach type of thing.
Life coach.
Yeah,
man.
it's
like
just
you're teaching
mentor.
them life lessons. And I talk about my boxing. A lot of my mindset and the way I do business and the way is all derived from boxing. The way of the things that I've learned in the gym and how to interact with other men and female, like the way to carry yourself, the way to stand your ground, and, you know, having confidence in yourself. Like, it builds confidence, it builds resilience. It's a massive, like, man, you got a chip on your shoulder, you get that knocked off real quick in the gym. You know, you go in there with a certain, you go in there with a big head, you get it knocked off real quick in the gym. So it's real good for that, you know. So humble. It's the place where you get humbled really quick. You know?
Boxing.
There's no place to hide.
Yeah,
that's the thing. There's no place to hide out there. The gym is, you know, there's no hide and seek.
Yeah, that was like AFL's one of those sports.
I forgot about how much. Like, someone said it to the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, because I don't watch a lot of it, right? I didn't realize how much they run non-stop.
Oh, that's fucking nuts.
Like, non-stop. The whole time. They constantly, there's no breaks. Like, hardly
when
ever
you watch
breaks.
it live, you appreciate it. Because on TV, they obviously just follow the ball.
They pan.
It's a massive field. So when you watch it live, that's why I say to my mates, when I'm watching it on TV, I'm like, it's all right, but rugby league's a TV game because you see the 2 lines of fucking 12.
Yeah.
Cut. But, like, AFL, there's so many players out of cut, and they're constantly just trying to lose their man. You know what I mean? Like, in defense or attack, they're just trying to either stick with their man or lose their man. So they're just running up, down. And you look at, do you know what a lead is?
No, I don't know nothing
like,
about it.
say, 180 metres away, someone on the other side gets the ball.
Yeah. I
could start down on the other side of the pitch, and by the time I run to the other right-hand side of the pitch, down the furthest end, cut across to the left, and that's where I mark the ball. That's what all you'll see on TV is him marking the ball. Yeah. But in reality, he's just made around 100 to 150 metre sprint to get into space.
Yeah,
that's the game of AFL. But that's what I was saying. If you want to be good at that sport, kind of similar to boxing, you can't fucking hide.
Yeah,
you're gonna get fucking squashed.
You know what AFL reminds you of? Have you ever been to the beach and threw?
Fucking seagulls! Seagulls on a fucking chip. Ned, I know you're listening, you prick. That's what Nick calls it. He goes, "I won't watch AFL because there's seagulls on a chip."
Nah. Listen, I like highlights of AFL. Like,
the hits.
Because I like the marks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they climb up them dudes. They climb up the dudes' backs.
Yeah.
And some of the hits that they take, like, there's that thing, like, anyone will tell you, especially football, boxing, it's what you don't see that hurts you. It's the punch that you don't see that catches you. And them guys are getting, like, hit blindsided all the time in AFL. Like, most of the big shots are from blindside shots, like in them highlights. And I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
I watched a gridiron guy reacting to the AFL hits.
Yeah.
The AFL hits were worse than the NRL hits.
Yeah.
Like, they're
NRL
worse.
Especially now, they're not the same. I remember Mark O'Mealy and all that shit. Willie Mason.
Yeah.
They used to. Roy Asatasi. They used to fucking run
Remember
it
Gordon
up.
Tallis?
I wasn't alive for Gordon.
Remember Hindmarsh?
Yeah. Hindy.
Far out. Like,
yeah.
Oh man, what about the CTE thing? Did you see that come
Yeah,
out?
I've seen a lot of that shit.
That's scary. But did you see about the Paul Green?
Oh yeah,
That's sad, man.
yeah,
That's
it's
very
devastating.
sad.
Yeah.
That's like, it's a big reality check, I think, for a lot of people, eh?
Yeah. How do you feel about CTE being in boxing? Has there been any cases yet of boxers with it?
Yeah, every second pro is that's what punch drunk
Yeah.
is.
Oh, punch drunk.
It's like punch drunk. It's the same sort
Yeah.
of thing. Like they're like.
Muhammad Ali, was he?
So I think he was predisposed. Like he was. Like,
Wasn't his MS?
Nah, his was Parkinson's.
Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it is the Greek thing of it, or the correct thing is there's another word for it before it was called CTE. It's called Puglis syndrome or something.
Yeah.
Punch drunk sort of stuff. But
Yeah, well.
I watched that doc. Have you seen that documentary about that?
Aaron Hernandez. Yeah, him and Chris Benoit, are the worst versions of it. Yeah.
So Chris Benoit's the worst brain that they've ever seen.
Yeah.
But then they said for his age, was the worst brain that they've ever seen.
Because they reckon in the NFL, the psychology of wearing a helmet does no good because they think they can throw themselves harder.
But some of them guys are like, they're big.
Oh, and they throw. Actually, I should add, they throw their head into it.
Yeah,
it's not shoulder and chest charge.
Yeah, obviously they like torpedo kamikaze at each other.
It makes me fucking nervous because they put their
Their
head
neck
in line with the neck. Straight.
Yeah,
and I could not think of anything worse.
But them guys too, the big, they're like 150.
Oh, they're big boys.
They're big boys.
You don't get them in league often. Your Fafita brothers are like...
They're big boys, and they're athletic, and they're like... Footy guys, you get a few of them that are ripped, but all them NFL guys are like...
ridiculous humans,
like,
yeah.
They look like
those
they're
genetics.
not even real.
Yeah.
They look like they're not even real when they take their shirts off. They look like they're airbrushed and like... They look like they're Dragon Ball Z characters. Shout out to Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
Shout out to anime. How's anime nowadays?
You like
Are you
it?
an anime fan?
Not particularly, but I've actually started watching. So in my downtime, with everything going on in life, I'm finding it a bit full on. So I've been trying to. I'm Rick and Morty to the day I die.
Rick and Morty?
It's not anime.
Right.
It's just fucking.
I don't. So my boys have got the Rick and Morty skins on Fortnite.
Yeah.
My boy is jam Fortnite. My older son jams Fortnite hard. My other son just swears at everyone. Yeah. My 7-year-old son with ADHD just says all the inappropriate things on there.
Yeah.
And my 9-year-old he jams it.
Yeah. And I just started watching anime because I've just seen it pop up here. Like Dragon Ball Z was the first one, obviously.
Yeah,
'cause that was big when I was young too.
It was big when I was young too. I was a teenager when it was on Cheese TV.
Cheese TV.
Yeah, Cheese TV. Do you remember?
Is that a Queensland station or is that national?
That was a national thing. Oh, you guys don't know Cheese TV. So
you know, I grew up on Rage.
Rage. I remember Rage. What was
Rugrats?
Rugrats, I remember Rugrats.
Simpsons as well.
So Cheese TV was on at 7 o'clock in the morning every morning on Channel 10.
Right.
And it used to have like all the heaps of different ones on there, like Ninja Turtles sometimes, Digimon, all that sort of stuff, and Dragon Ball Z on there. And that's like, I watched the whole Cell Saga on there. Watched the Frieza Saga and the Cell Saga all on there, like every day. Like, used to collect the Tarzos in the pack of chips and stuff at school, like Dragon Ball Z hard out when I was young. But I used to watch I'm an old anime fan, like Vampire Hunter D and
I got no idea.
Vampire Hunter D and like
Akira rings a bell.
Akira is like one of the original animes and like Ninja Scroll. These are all like old, like in the like 80s, late 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
So and it's weird that it's like popular now.
Yeah.
Just like comic books. Like comic books weren't popular back in the day.
Yeah.
Like if you had comic books and like watch Wolverine Wolverine is big. Like you were no one did that. But now like Marvel movies are the highest grossing movies and all the nerdy stuff is like cool as hell now.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
like it's crazy. Like the Matrix was like the shit when I was alive when the Matrix was the shit.
Yeah.
Like I was a teenager when the Matrix was the shit.
Yeah.
Like that blew people's minds, man.
Yeah.
Everyone was trying to get
do
that thing when I was a kid. Everyone was like, "Yo, like everyone was doing that shit. Like that changed things, man. That changed things, man. That was the shit. Shout out to the Matrix. She had to, Keanu Reeves. That boy don't age. Is he a vampire?
Could be.
Maybe.
He's a great bloke above all.
He seems like it. He likes motorbikes. He's got his own motorbikes. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he's got his own motorbike company. He's got his own motorbikes. He's a real enthusiast.
I just know fan interactions wise, a lot of people, you hear a lot of shit about celebrities, don't you? There's just everything about him is just, everything you hear is just beautiful. Just takes time.
Ain't it a breath of fresh air? You know how crazy, me and my wife were talking about this the other day. How weird is it that when someone's super nice, you walk away from the situation blown away?
Yeah.
And you've got to literally bring it up with someone.
Yeah.
It's that rare that someone's that nice and awesome to you. You're like,
what the fuck?
What the fuck? I'll be like, bub. I walk through the door. I kick the door open. I just met this bloke. He was the nicest bloke. He had a corky. I don't know. His name was Bill. He makes ships and puts them in bottles. I don't know, but fuck, he was a good bloke. Like you have to make a point of like pointing out that someone that person was. My missus does it all the time on the phone because interaction on the phone. She goes, that person was really, really nice. And we just pointed out the other day. It's like, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird how it's become not normal.
It's become not normal.
We live in a very negative world.
We're disconnected world.
Yeah.
It's very disconnected.
Yeah, despite...
It went from like tribe. Like, I don't think we're meant to live in these big... We're not meant to live like this.
Nah.
We're not meant to live in these big cities apart from everyone, away from everyone. We meant to live in small communities where everyone knows their name and you're like together and you can trust everyone and everyone around you and we're not meant to live like this. And I think that's why society is the way it is. It's like we're so disconnected. You know, we're not there's no tribism no more. Yeah. You know, everyone's all about themselves and that. And I think that's really what we're missing. We need to get back to the roots. Tribism, I think.
Yeah?
I think so.
Fucking oath. Let's get it happening.
I think so. What? You know what I think? You know what I think? Well, why don't we have... You know Scouts? There's no Scouts no more. Why isn't there no Scouts? Like, what's a cool version of Scouts?
See you later.
What's a cool version of Scouts that we could bring... There has to be something cool that we could come out where we take kids. You're telling me that some young blokes don't want to go out in the bushwalking and like, yo, that's a spider and that's a snake. That kids wouldn't want to do that shit. Tie a knot around something. Like kids don't want to know how to tie a knot and shoot an arrow and stuff.
Fuck around with Fleming.
Fuck around
with Fleming. And you take kids out into the bush and tell them everything.
Just like yarns.
Yeah.
Take them out the bush, take them hiking, get them working out, and fitness, do knots and. Tell me, half the kids wouldn't know how to tie a
shoelace.
A fishing rod, a fishing line onto it.
Yeah.
I learned that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
To put bait on a fishing line and that.
Yeah.
That's like general stuff that you did as a little 90s kid.
Yeah.
Go down the thing and with a sharp knife. Catch a fish, pop it off, and throw the thing back. Yeah. Kids don't know how to do that no more. Yeah. I think that's maybe we need to get back to that.
Fuck, funny you say this. My friend John and I have been saying how we've lost. So during COVID,
great minds think alike, by the way.
During COVID, the way we interacted, obviously being in the mountains, it helps. We'd go out to the bush. But we went to lookouts and stuff, like lookouts that only like locals would know, not to gatekeep, happy to share them. But like recently we've been saying like, fuck, we actually need to like get down into the mountains, into the rivers and like, because I know I have 2 or 3 friends who get down there and actually fish and like get trout straight out of the river and stuff like that. And John and I were saying like, fuck, we need to get back into doing that stuff because it just, I don't know, it ticks like a different box in your head, to put it that way. Like, I don't know, it hits something somewhere. It makes you, like, I went for a swim in Glenbrook Gorge. If anyone knows Glenbrook Gorge, there's no fucking sunlight till 11 a.m. in there. And I went in for a swim there on like 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Yeah. A bit of a trek in. Loved it.
Yeah.
Best I ever felt for a weekend. Didn't go out or anything. Didn't drink that weekend. And I felt amazing.
So I used to go out with a couple of uncles, a couple of senior guys, and we used to go out every Thursday night.
Yeah.
Out bush. Night time.
Man.
Take food.
Yeah.
Sit down. Check in.
Yeah.
Do our thing. Have a feed.
Yeah.
And then it kind of got away from it, but
Around here?
up the mountains.
Oh, yeah? Where'd you go? Glenbrook?
We'll go out Glenbrook.
Yeah.
Yeah. They go to Jellybean Pool and then out the back in there and go up the...
Yeah. I went from Jellybean, so you know how it goes down into Pean? I
Yeah.
started like 500 metres down past Jellybean and swam through there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Unbelievable.
I've got another place, and I'm thinking about, like, once this rain goes away, once it heats up, I'm thinking about taking a few guys out and going out, having a feed out there and that.
Oh, I'll come.
You come?
With you. Oh, I fucking oath.
Yeah, let's go.
Nah,
Go
he'll
out
come.
there,
Yeah, he's into it a bit.
Out. All we used to do was get some food, the bread, whatever, sweet. Go out there, make a little fire, cook it up, check in, how's your week, blah, blah, blah.
You camp out there for the night?
Sometimes. I've done it myself. I go camp out there by myself sometimes.
Beautiful.
When I'm going through my stuff. Well, COVID was a big... You talk about COVID, that was wasn't that a weird thing, man?
Yeah.
I felt...
We could get into it.
We could get into it. I'm not going to get into it, and each to their own with it. But like that, despite that, it was a challenging time.
Yeah.
And it really took me to some places mentally that I didn't
like to be in,
but necessary. Maybe it was necessary for me to have to go through that and come out a better person. But yeah, that was a real tough time for a lot of people, man.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it's good to see that it looks like it's behind us and we're moving forward.
Yeah.
It was good for boxing.
Yeah, got you training.
Got me training. And it made a lot of Aussies fight each other because they couldn't fly guys in. So it was good for Aussie boxing. It made a lot of fights happen and that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's certainly was an interesting time. But you know, getting back to your roots, like you said, was really helped me in that. So we'll have to get out there one time.
I'll get out there with you
For sure.
I got spots all over the mountains. I've seen it all.
What's your favourite food? Italian?
Yeah.
What's your favourite Italian feed? My missus is a
fuck, man,
cook.
you're going to make me cry. My nonna
Here
used to
we
make
go.
the best fucking gnocchi.
Used to? She's passed?
No, she's got dementia. She's in home.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
My nonna, man, she's she as a chef, I still got to get her recipes off her. Funnily enough, my brother is the only one who can cook like her.
Yeah, right.
And he got the pasta one down pat. So she had a pasta, she had a gnocchi, she had a lasagna.
Oh.
And a schnitzel. The schnitzel isn't hard to do, but the way she cooked it was it's hard to replicate.
Yeah, right.
But the actual ingredients is
You
everyone
sound
knows
like
them.
you're invested in it. You love it.
I want to keep in touch with it.
Yeah. It's a way, like for us,
Yeah.
the stories and dance is a way to carry on. And I guess for Italian
Food.
people,
Food's a
the
big
food
thing. Yeah.
is them recipes.
Yeah.
It's like an oral tradition.
Yeah.
So we talk about our oral tradition and our dancing and all that sort of stuff. But with Italians, you could even say that their oral tradition is their recipes passed down for years. Yeah. It's
so my nonna used to have like a gnocchi, which is just potato.
Yeah.
Squishy potato.
I love it.
It's fucking amazing. I don't know the fucking recipe for it.
Yeah.
But that was my fate. I could eat it for ages.
What sauce is it with?
I couldn't tell you.
You don't even know what sauce it is.
No, because she didn't fucking buy Cole's sauce.
No, but was it a tomatoey base or what was it?
No. It was
creamy.
No, it wasn't creamy. It was like an oily.
What? Oh, oily, but al dente. Al dente.
Man,
is that al dente? Is that al dente?
Yeah, in a
sort of
sense,
sense.
yeah.
My wife likes the oily, oil.
My
she likes
nonna's
that.
skin is better than mine. Like way more.
Because it's got moisturising from the oil cooking all the time. She's got beautiful skin.
And but I went to we went to Adelaide, my dad and I, for a Wanderers versus Adelaide game. And Dad his best mate lives down in Adelaide, so we went squidding.
Yeah.
But we took my nonna down. This was 2 years ago. And her best friend, so nonna came here on a boat.
Yeah.
And her best friend was on that boat with her.
Yeah.
And she went to Adelaide. My nonna went to Sydney. And when we went to her house, her best friend's house, her backyard was all different types of fruit trees and a veggie garden.
Yeah.
And on the spot, while we're inside having coffee, she makes gnocchi. Her best friend made gnocchi from scratch. Like, as she'd gone to the backyard and grabbed the potatoes.
Yeah, right.
And everything was grabbed from the backyard except for the olive oil.
Wow.
And that shit is like, because I know my chances. I don't pick what nationality I want to marry, right?
Yeah.
But what are the odds of me ending up with Italian? Who knows? But I want my kids to at least have the experiences I had of growing up in my nonna and nonna's house, which I'll never fucking forget. Like, they are the most beautiful and trade the world in for them. You know what I mean? To relive those moments.
Did they have jars of sauce that they'd pre-made?
Fuck yeah, man! In the garage, something different. Yeah.
Fermenting away.
Yeah. That and lemonade in abundance. Lemonade. Red wine. We had biscuits beyond belief.
Listen, lemonade and throaties and a Zuba Duper cure cancer, I swear to God. Yeah. Like, that throaty. Them throaties and a lemonade and an icy pole. And he'd be crook dying. He'd get one of them icy poles. Yeah. Have a couple of lemonade or get one of them throaties. Yeah. And Dad, can you give me throaties from the make you feel better, bro. Yeah. I swear that's a cure for malaria right there.
Yeah.
Like, throaties, lemonade, and
fuck yeah. Oh man, what a mix. I used to have red wine with my lemonade when I was like growing up. Yeah. She used to put a bit of red wine in my lemonade. It's good shit.
He always talks about that. Like, my wife always talks about like how like it's common to have like a little nip of wine when you
my nonna just put it in the lemonade, so it was like a red lemonade. Mum's not Italian. She didn't care.
What nation's mum?
She's Aussie.
She's Aussie?
English, Scottish, Irish background, a few generations back.
Yeah.
But dad's born here.
Yeah.
Dad's Australian by birth, but when he was young, they went back to Italy.
Can he speak it?
First language.
Yeah. First language?
Yeah, his first language is Italian.
Same as my missus' dad. First language.
Yeah. And when Dad, I fucking hate it. He doesn't speak it as much as I think he should. But when he gets talking, so when he talks to my nonna, because what obviously dementia does is bring back your first, like your original, what you learned first. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's what's like engraved in you. They speak in Italian, and I just sit there, just fascinated. Like, I wish I could learn. I'm trying to learn as I go, and I've been writing down phrases, but with everything in life going on, I'm really struggling. But I'm going to take like a good month. I'm going to preload a month of content, and then give myself a month to really get some stuff down. Yeah. I'm fascinated with learning it.
So my missus' grandparents, the grandmother was like a linguist, and she speaks like 7 languages.
Wow.
So she speaks Italian, English, French, Hungarian, Romanian.
Yeah.
They speak Arabic.
Yeah.
So the grandfather was Italian but lived in Egypt, Cairo.
Yeah. So southern Italy's very northern African descent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he.
That's where the color comes from. Okay. In southern Italy.
So he was raised in Italy and in Egypt and that. But yeah, so they speak so many languages.
Yeah.
They've been here forever, but their accents are still thick as because they've never just come here and spoke English. They're just like. But they change what they're talking all the time.
Yeah.
The grandfather and the grandmother, so they'll be talking Italian, they'll be talking English, and then start talking French.
Yeah. Wow.
And then you're like out of everywhere, and then they'll start arguing at each other, and then Stiano.
Yeah.
Stiano. Stiano.
Oh fuck! We better wrap it up because
it's late. My missus is gonna be like, you ran off or something.
Yeah.
Left her with the 6 kids.
10:30 at night on a Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, Tuesday. I got one thing I asked to everyone. I'm going to ask this. I asked it to Yanni and I asked it to you as well. I normally ask people in business, advice to kids trying to get into that. Your advice to young athletes?
Invest in yourself.
Yep.
Invest in yourself and your brand. Do it. It's never too early to start doing it.
Yeah.
To know who you are, to identify your strengths and weaknesses. Double down on your strengths.
Yeah.
And work on your weaknesses.
Yeah.
And one of my there's 2 big ones, 2 other big ones is a team. You got to have a team behind you.
Yeah.
A good team. And my biggest lesson, this has been my biggest lesson through life and boxing, is I have to be there to support my kids and be there to help support them with their decisions, because I would have been in a 100 times better position now if I would have had that strong support, that strong family. And that's my biggest lesson. I've got to be able to be there to help my kids, and not to tell them what to do, but just to be able to pick them up when they fall. To know that there's, no matter what happens, that someone's got their back. And that's been one of my biggest lessons. So.
Fuck yeah, great answer, beautiful answer.
Thanks very much, and thanks for being patient with us. I finally got out here.
Oh, no. Pleasure was mine.
All good, my brother.
So, for people that want to know where they can find you, shout out your own handles on socials.
Paul Showtime Fleming on Instagram and Facebook. I got a fan page on Facebook, and my one word, Paul Showtime Fleming, 1M in Fleming. Yeah. And I'm easy to find on there. So I'm not verified yet. I've got to get that tick.
Yeah, get that.
Got to get my finger out and get that tick sorted.
Yeah, get it sorted tonight when you get home.
Yeah, ADHD. I'll get home and I'll do 15,000 other things.
Yeah.
And then fall asleep at 1 o'clock in the morning and wake up at 5.
Yeah, fucking hell.
All good.
I've got to do that too. I've got to wake up at 5.
You got to get some ADHD. I'll give you some. If
I could
bottle it up, I'd lend it to you. Just a little bit. But sadly, it's hereditary. It's in the blood. I can't do anything.
I was saying I got to get up at 5 a.m.
Oh, you got to get up at 5 a.m.
I got to go back to Wimberley after this. It's a big drive.
Mountains.
Springwood, 10Ks to your right.
Dang. I got to head out to Penrith.
Yeah.
I'm going to get Hungry Jacks on the way home, I reckon. Do you like HJs?
Nah,
I like HJs. Tastes
really?
More real than Macca's.
Yeah, maybe because they cook it actually on the spot.
They do.
Yeah.
And then because they got that lettuce and that tomato tastes really good on that cooked thing.
You reckon it's fresher?
Yeah, 100%. I think
Macca's all
there's
frozen.
Macca's tastes like bleach.
Yeah.
The meat tastes like bleach. Pull the Macca's patty out and just eat it by itself. We better get out of here. Yeah. Anyway, we gotta get into conspiracies. We didn't even get into conspiracies. Dang.
As always, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for listening. Follow on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff. Before you know it, this man will be fighting again, so we'll plug that.
Keep an eye out.
I'll make sure I plug that in all the pages.
Keep an eye out.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for hopping on, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate it.